Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MMORPG Tycoon 2. Now, before I head off and, explore what I've done and tell you why I'm doing it, I want basically, who am I and why am I covering this game again? So, some of you may know I have, in my long years, I've published three RPG games. I started in RPG back in, the 70s, the dawn of Dungeons and Dragons, role Rune Quest, all those kinds of things. And one way or another, I have been involved in the gaming industry all these years. And I've been the guest at conventions in my name. I've run campaigns for role playing games for all kinds of people, including famous people. I did a massive charity Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast event whereby I GM'd for over 30 players at once. Um, I've done so much in this industry that it's pretty crazy. And the other day, I basically had two comments made to me in rapid success that made me think, well, do you know what? Let's come back to this game and do something different. And the first one was a mention about this game saying that people only see videos really for this game of how to exploit the game to make as much money as possible and all those kinds of things. And not many people are making what would be considered to be a true RPG or MMO using this game, flesh it out properly. And another thing that was said to me the other day was, well, if I was to go and make another game, what would would I want to be involved in a large role playing game as a designer? Because of all the years of experience I've got, that's probably where I would enter in next, is not get involved too much in any programming, but just be there as a lead design and try and make sure that the project didn't fall into the many, many pitfalls there are when creating any kind of computer game or role play game, etc. So I decided, do you know what? Let's fire up this game again and we can go through some of the basics, some of the issues about creating an MMO as well as an RPG. And yeah, just highlighting some of the pitfalls that there are, and then also having a look what I've done in this little game so far. And if people want to see more, we'll do some more. So first things first, RPGs. They are way more complicated than people give them credit for. The biggest issue you've got before you even start with doing an RPG is making a decision that is going to dictate how you design your game going forward. And that is, how are you going to reward the player? Now, the common one, which you're going to get in games like your EverQuest and your World of Warcrafts and all that kind of thing, and Dungeons and Dragons, is leveling. Leveling is the easy way to reward a player. Yeah, a player goes off and does something, he kills some bad guys, whatever, maybe comes back with some treasure, but it's the ding, the big burst of fireworks and the yay, I've gone up a level, I now unlock loads of new abilities. That's the achievement, the reward that a player gets that drives them on to play some more. Now, there are other systems that don't do that. I'm thinking more along the line of, say, a RuneQuest, a Call of Cthulhu, some kind of skill base that doesn't use leveling. Your character is always kind of like you've got the same kind of hit points and everything else. You're the same sort of person. It's just you master different ways to keep going, yeah? Those systems are usually more story driven, whereby you're not so, although you are enjoying your character getting harder, you're focused on different ways to achieve your end goal. I mean, even 7 Days to Die kind of survival games like that, although they got leveling in them, you don't necessarily gain that many more hit points. You're using skills to, unlock and achieve new things. So there's different ways to design a MMO RPG, and leveling is probably, or sorry, the reward, the achievement of your character is probably the biggest thing that you need to decide upon. So, MMORPG 2 chooses leveling. Okay, not a problem. Let's talk about next is how you lay out your world, because leveling has an issue with it that needs to be addressed yet again straight away. You've got two ways of laying out your world. You've got one which is the classic EverQuest, World of Warcraft thing, whereby each zone is kind of like a level. So, this is where you quest if you're level 10. When you get level 12, you quest over there. Stuff like that. Now, there are pros and cons with that. The pros are, if you are finding the game too easy or too difficult or whatever, you can choose where to quest and what enemies to go up against. So if you think, do you know what? I'm good at this game. Even though I'm level 10, I want to go up against level 14 creatures. And if I manage to kill them, I'm getting level 14, drops reward, gold, etc. But that's what I want to do. I want to test myself versus tougher stuff. Likewise, if you find it too difficult, you can go, oh, well, I'm going to go to adventuring level like 9 areas or 8 areas because I find level 10 too tough. So you control kind of like the difficulty that you're up against. Also, another good pro is, well, when I'm level 10, I can go back to a level 5 area and massacre all those goblins that used to give me a issue. It's that feeling of power, that feeling of like, oh, I'm now somebody. Yeah, I've achieved this greatness. I'm going to come back like Conan and just, kill you all. And sometimes that's fun. And sometimes people want to do that just to feel that progression. Yeah, there's an obvious straight there, I am now tougher. The cons are you instantly create dead content. The moment you go from your level 10 area to your level 12 area, well, if you've only done half of your level 10 area, the rest of that level 10 area is now pointless. There's no point going there. Never mind the level, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You don't go back because you're not going to gain any XP. There's no need. I mean, yeah, you could make stupid things like, go there to grind out something to get a pet or something. But there's no need to go back. So from a world design point of view, you've got people who are making potentially really great, interesting quests, really cool areas that might not even be played because people are level 2 past and get straight past it and never come back. Another issue you get, which is, to be honest, a really bad issue, is you get dead areas. And that can even be dead, cities even. And the problem with that is you might have millions of subscribers. You might have crazy amounts of people playing all the time. But if a player is walking around an area where there's just nobody around, they'll get the feeling that the game is kind of dead. Yes, it's not quite vogue anymore. And they'll probably, just move on sooner. They'll unsub and go somewhere else. But there might be a zone, 3 levels on from now that is absolutely teeming. But they don't see that. They're not there. So dead areas can kill your game. Because people like to have that confirmation that a game is successful and doing well by seeing other people. If they're not seeing other people, they feel the game is failing. Okay, the other way you can tackle things is to do kind of like what your what's the word? Well, yeah, Skyrim, the single player game, kind of did it on and off. People moaned. um, but the online version, the Elder Scrolls Online, there's other games that do this as well, but they try and scale with you. Now, there's pros and cons to that. So, a pro of scaling with you is areas have always got people in. Yeah, there's no dead content anymore. Every zone you go into is going to feel like it is written, as new content for your character because it scales to your content, to your level. It drops equipment and rewards of your level. So yeah, each zone is going to be, lively potentially if there's enough players, and be current to you. You've never got like dead content. You can go anywhere you want on the map, and you've got current live content. Obviously, then the downside to that is, well, you're always potentially going to struggle if you find it difficult to fight stuff of your content. You don't have anywhere where you can decide the difficulty. You can't decide to challenge yourself and go, oh, I'm going to, go into a harder zone to fight harder stuff. I can't go into an easier zone to fight easier stuff. Everywhere I go is always going to be at my level. You don't get an escape from that, if you get what I mean. And that can feel a little bit like you're being pushed to not play a game how you want to play a game, if you kind of get what I mean. Because you can't go off and think, oh, you know what? I'm going to go and see just how tough it is to go into that next zone and fight those next monsters. Am I ready for that? So it can take away some of that personal challenge. But as I said, it gives every zone a reason to still be there if you haven't actually adventured in there. So that's pretty cool. So in this game, they've gone for zone leveling. So if I look at the grid, not the grid, the grid, go back. You've got zones in your world, and each one you basically decide what level it's going to be. I've literally just started this, so I'm just showing you. It's like this is level 1. That I got this area is going to be level 1 to 2. This will also be 1 to 2, and then this will be, once I buy it and flesh it out, that was actually going to be a 1 to 20. It'll be a city that I'm always going to be trying to bring people back to, and then they'll go from there to pick up some other cool quests. So you always want that area to be busy because it's going to be a main hub. Now, talking of main hubs, let's try back to where we are. Your starting area, you need it to have certain things, yeah? Players are going to need to buy stuff. They're going to need inns. They're going to need, when they get all their equipment, they can sell all of their treasures. But you've got to be careful. You don't want to give your starting area and your starting players a massive city. If you overwhelm your new player the moment they log in, it could be just like, I just can't get to grips with this game. I'm going. So what you tend to find is, when you're talking about, let's take World of Warcraft, for instance. Although, like, say, Stormwind is just around the corner, you don't start in Stormwind. You start in, like, a little area where you kind of, like, fight a few mobs to get the hang of things. You got a trainer. You can buy some basic bits and pieces. And then you do a little bit of exploration to get to Stormwind. And then once you're at Stormwind, you haven't got to do like massive amounts. You can kind of go back out and do some more adventuring in the areas nearby. But then slowly but surely, you kind of get to, know your way around the big city. It becomes more familiar to you, and you don't mind doing more stuff in a big city. But you don't want to slam a big city straight there as your opening zone. Whether this is tabletop role playing or whether or not this is an RPG, a big city is the opening zone or the opening area can just be too overwhelming. There's too much going on, too many places. So yeah, just start it slightly small and then go to a big city. Right. Next thing is plot lines, main plot lines, and issues with an MMO. And you get it in this game as well. It's the one thing that separates really an MMO from a single player. And that is the ability to have a main plot line, a storyline, and how in an MMO you have to basically take away choice from the character. And what I mean by that is simple. Is say, well, there's a quest line in this. The main quest line in this so far, which we'll kind of go through a little bit, is somebody's got kidnapped by some bandit gang, and the bandit gang want 50 gold pieces to, to give it back. So if this was a single player RPG, you'd be right, okay, I've got options. I can either pay the 50 gold piece ransom, I can go there pretending to pay it, but then kill them all, kill all the bandits. I can try and sneak into the bandit camp and rescue the person myself. I mean, there's loads of different ways in a single player RPG, or even on a tabletop when everybody sat around the table is agreeing on what the course of action is. You kind of get what I mean. That you can do. But in an MMO, you, unlike on a tabletop, if things go wrong or somebody in the party does something strange, then you all go with the flow. But you don't want that in an MMO. Player doesn't want that in an MMO. If I want to go and pay 50 gold to this bandit gang, and then maybe try and, befriend them, join them even. There could be all sorts of weird side quest lines to do all kinds of stuff. It's no good if I'm with some other people that decide, no, they're going to kill him. Because their actions now stop me from doing what I want to do. Yeah? Because although people want to do a single player experience, they also want the multiplayer experience. They want to be with other people to face on the challenges and, go into areas and kill all the bandits. And it's no point having a storyline whereby I'm now friends with the bandits, but my friend is the enemy of the bandits, because we can't play together anymore. We can't join up and go, oh, let's go and, play this game. He's going to go, well, we can't now, because, yeah, the game is completely different for both of us. So you're kind of stuck on some plot lines whereby they're on rails a little bit. Everybody's got to go and pay the ransom, or everybody's, you go there and kill them. There's not a lot of leeway you can do in some storylines on an MMO. You've got some variants you can throw in, but in the long term, as far as the main plot line goes, you can't. You've all got to follow the main plot line one way or another. You might have a few little, variances along the way, but in general, you're all going on the main plot line. And talking of main plot lines, one of the issues you can get in an MMO is, have you picked up the main plot line? Are you following the main plot line? And what happens if I'm now level 5 and I haven't picked up the main plot line in area 1? Do I now have to go back to level 1 area and just slaughter everything to try and pick up the main plot line and carry on? Now, one of the good things to do is to give plot hooks, plot entry points, ways along the path that make sense for a player to re-pick up the main plot line if they've lost it, without having to go back and do content that's way lower level than them. Yeah, new entry points. Now that helps just to drive the game forward and stops players sometimes spoiling other players' fun a little bit unintentionally because, yeah, I'm working on this main plot line and some level 8 character comes along when I'm level 1, kills everything because he wants to get the drop because he needs to pick up the plot line. It's kind of like, well, now I've got to wait for it all to respawn. Yeah, because some idiots are coming through because they didn't pick up the main plot line. Why couldn't they pick up the main plot line at level 8? Obviously, there's limits to that, but some kind of new plot entry points are always worth thinking about. Right, well, let's go on and talk about this game. There's a new update coming out soon. One of the good reasons why I've decided to cover this as well is I've had a word with the devs, and there is a new update coming out soon. I got a sneaking feeling it could be dungeons, because that would be really good. Don't quote me on that though. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But dungeons have been promised as the next big thing soon. So let's have a quick look at what I've done so far. If you like what I've done so far, then yeah, we can do some more. We'll carry on with the story. So the players come in here. Straight away, I've got an NPC here that is directing the players to go and see, Mum and Dad, I do believe. This is me, isn't it? Isn't this me? Tormunda. Quests, go see Mum and Dad and go and kill some rats and take some stuff to the party tree. So they go and see Mum and Dad, which are over here. So we've got Dad, which I do believe is Jump Jet. The characters' names are named after my Patreons first. One of the things about being a Patreon is you get your name in any games where I can name people. So you go over and see Dad first, and he basically wants you to find Helena. He just starts sending you around saying, where's Helena, and go and look for her. There's Mam over here, which is... I can't click on Mam. Mam. So many people in there. Wow. There's that many people in there. Oof. Wendy the Great. Wendy the Great. Interestingly, what I've done is the thing that this game doesn't have. It doesn't have anything where it says, go and collect, X items or go and find something. So it's very difficult to direct players to do stuff that you would normally get in MMO. Yeah? So what I've done is I've created an NPC that basically doesn't exist. So I have a quest update NPC. It's a character that doesn't exist, and I've had them. The only way I can put them down is to make them into a guardsman, and they actually appear as like a tiny little like rodent on the floor or something. And again, they'll pop through. So what I've done is I've placed these tiny little non-existent quest markers around. Just get rid of that. Around the map, and that makes me be able to do stuff like, go over here and collect some crops. Go and check out the giant pumpkin. Go and water some stuff, collect some things. You can send people off to do stuff, yeah? Go over there and get water from the well and water some crops. Which is normally what you'd get in an MMO. I would like to have some way whereby there was like items that people could collect or things they could do. Because you might notice I've put little like birds' nests hidden all over the map. And it would be nice if like the characters could sort of like go to somewhere and go, oh, I've picked up a special item sort of thing, like by collecting 10 eggs. Okay, so the plot line here is the characters wander around, they pick up stuff, they do stuff for the farmers, and eventually they go down to the lake pond edge here. They see a sign that basically says, 50 gold piece ransom for your daughter. And then you get sent to see the mayor, basically asking for help. So the characters will all wander along this path. The reason why you've got fencing that around a lot of these things is to try and stop what's happening over here. There's a few people taking shortcuts. They can, of course they can. But at the moment, I want players to head along the path here. Now, when they head along the path, there are some quests that go down towards the water's edge where they do some stuff for a local fisherman. Now, one of the strange things about this game, and I don't know why, is for some reason people just love going to stand in the sea Why do they do that? I just don't get it. They just go out to the sea and hang around in the water. Each to their own, but it is a thing. I don't quite know why they do it, but they just go and play in the water. Well, if they're happy. So, the other option, and the quest line takes you this way towards town. You will travel through an area whereby there are actually giant rats in there, although they're all dead enough, that do come out onto the pathway. So you can just get randomly attacked by a giant rat when you come past. There are also quests to go out here and kill the giant rats, including there should be, although he might be dead. I think he's dead. Oh, there you are. The first boss just respawned. Dark Screecher. Another one of our Patreons. Dark Screecher is a giant rat. Giant elite rat. No offense, Dark Screecher. They headlong here. I need to flesh some of this out a bit more. It's not really decorated enough. They head into the first area. There's a little inn. There is the brewery. So this place makes all the beer for the area, and you get quests from here to go and basically deliver lots of beer. Lots of nice, easy quests. Although there's fighting available in this opening zone, and as much as people want, to be honest, you don't want to force people to have to fight to level through level 1. You want them to have some fighting, but if people keep dying straight away at level 1, in this game especially, they might just rage quit. Just have enough. So you kind of like want to give them some fighting, but, you know, keep them going. Right, the next area here is a fake area. I'm pretending this is player housing where people can build their own houses. There's nothing like that in the game. It's always nice to have some kind of player housing or crafting or ability to build things. So that's what that area is. They then come to a blacksmith. There's somewhere you can get your equipment. And of course, he sends them off mining. So there's places down here where people go to mine. I mean, they don't really, but you just fake the game into, you know, showing that they do mine. And a tavern, etc. Keep on going. In the main town, then, there's the main shopping area. The main inn, there's plenty of inns, but the main inn. The mayor himself and his house. I'm going to make this more impressive, but it's early days yet. So you have the mayor's house where you'll pick up the quest to go and, you know, start against the bandit gang. Got places for people to have their stables. Another little inn area. This leads up to the only potion area in level 1. You can come up here for potions. There's also another respawn point if you die. There's 3 in this area. And this guy will send you off, you know, into the swamps over here, whereby yet again everybody's dead, but there were people have been killing them all. There's some giant crocodiles in there. They come here to pick up these strange fruit. If they want, a lot of them just go here to kill crocodiles. There's a giant one. There he is. Dread, the elite crocodile. Oh, Dread just killed somebody. Epic. Okay, well done. That person's not happy. You'll respawn there. You can go down this way to a woodcutters. You've got a little wood cut down area. He'll send you off on some quests. There's a leather worker here that sends you off on lots of kill quests. There's also a place here full of wild birds. Really low level wild birds. They don't really do much damage to you. They do a stun and a weaken on you. So they're annoying. But to be honest, they're easy to kill. And they're just somewhere where people go to, you know, collect feathers and duck eggs and whatever. Easy quest area. And somebody here's got a nice garden, but that's a respawn point in case they die at that duck area or they want to go somewhere more difficult. There are random little elites around the map, little ruins with little elites and things in case people go off exploring. Some of them have quest lines to kill them. Some of them are just there. So eventually they will. You got two choices. So the way that the adventure is going to go is you can go and fight the gang in the woodland, or you can go the safer way, which is you just head to the main city via a coastal road. It's got its own adventures on it, but you kind of like drop out for now of the gang fight in the woodland. The gang fight in the woodland is the harder of the two choices, and that's why there's an alternate way so that people don't have to do the hard route. So there's loads of bears in that woods over there. Now these woods, they're not really fleshed out enough. Now I've started fleshing them out down here, putting lots of extra scenery in. Eventually you come through, into the dark, spooky woods. And there is the first bandit camp. This is the easier of the two camps that are in here. And this is where you basically go to question them. You don't get any info from them. And as such, you get sent back to talk to the mayor that then tells you about a contact they have who will be down here. That's another respawn point. Contact you have, which there's some people here then, there's the contact from the gang. And that I haven't changed him into a quest giver yet because he's going to continue the quest line. But there's some quests here from some hunter that sends you to, kill some crocodiles and some bits and pieces that are all, those three are all elites. That's a first level elite thing, and second level elite. Was that a second level elite as well? That's a second level elite. So 2 second level elites and 1 first level elite. There's another area there I'm starting to work on, which is down here. But I mean, it's really early stages. There's basically nothing there. Some of the characters, for those who are interested, I haven't changed this person across to the new model yet, but that's Tactical Illusion. Changing that person across to will be this model, will be what Tactical Illusion is going to be. So yeah, there you go. That is the starting area. That's the start of the quest line. If people want me to do more on this game and finish decorating out this area, flesh out this area, continue the plot line, this will be the coastal road. I can't make it look like a coastal road look nice yet until I buy it. Of course, I've got to generate enough revenue. And then do the city. So yeah, if people want more of this series and see me create an actual storyline MMO in this game rather than just, random stuff. And then I can go through, some character creation, what kind of skills I've given each of the classes, why I've given each of the classes certain skills, and thinking of balance and how they work together and don't become too overpowerful. So yeah, if you want more, let me know in the comments and I will do some more. And of course, if you've got any questions with regards to, game design, game development, even going, whether you want to know how to get stuff out onto Steam, how easy is it to program stuff, how easy is it to publish stuff, how easy is it to publish stuff not through something like Steam and do it yourself. I mean, yeah, ask in the comments. I'm more than happy to try and cover those things off if I can and just explain how things work in the industry, how to publish paperback RPGs. I've done that. So yeah, just ask away and I will do what I can to let you know what I know, my experiences, and things to try and avoid pitfalls. So thank you very much, everybody, and the Baron will see you all next time. Bye now.